Dana, let's bring in Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, who was kind enough to join us tonight. So we're both good friends with John Andrasik.
Yes, absolutely.
And you pointed out what he said there, that Biden said ahead of what happened tonight to Iran, don't. And
right.
Iran said, whatever. Now, Iran may be going to pains here to not hit any population centers. But what do you make of the fact that they completely thumbed their nose at the American president?
Well, John, and I do hope John Andrasik is safe. We wish him well. We wish our friends in Israel well. But this has been 3.5 years of failed policy coming out of this administration. If you go back and the sanctions that were put in place by the Biden administration on Iranian oil, but were never enforced. Never enforced. So if you're going to throw that out there, if you're going to talk, you might as well walk the walk as well. We don't see the Biden administration doing that. So over the course of the last 5 years, we've hit an all-time high of export of Iranian oil to the tune of $80 billion that goes to fund Iran and its terror proxy groups, which are targeting not only American troops, but Israel as well. So we have come to a culmination now of failure in policy to deter Iran against attacking Israel, as well as our American troops.
Senator Ernst, good to have you on the program tonight. Thank you for joining us. As you can imagine, world leaders continue to respond to what we are all watching play out on the world stage tonight. The German chancellor has just issued a statement saying the attack on Israel territory that Iran launched tonight is unjustifiable and highly irresponsible. This just coming in. Iran risks a further escalation in the region. Germany stands by Israel, and we will discuss this situation with our allies. You have to imagine world leaders all over are watching this play out and having to plan for what may be coming next, Senator.
Exactly, Sandra. And we do have to wonder what will happen next. Now, we did have a little bit of a heads up that Iran planned to do this. They were telling the world that they were going to strike Israel. What is the next step following this? Because we know that Israel is intent on wiping out Hamas. Again, another policy failure coming from this administration is waffling on the support to Israel. We should not be interfering with their war. We should say to Israel, we support you. We will help you wipe this scourge off of the face of the planet. This president has not done that. We need to step forward, make sure we're protecting our own interests in the Middle East, which includes defending Israel.
You know, we were all fascinated by Jennifer Griffin's reporting about these Shahed drones that were lit up. You were in the military. You know military strategy. What do you make of that?
Right. So, John, back to our conversation earlier, we were noticing those lights on those drones. Now, I immediately thought this is one way to strike terror into the citizens there in Israel. You also pointed out that this is one way to identify those drones. They can be easier shot down. Twofold. I think maybe Iran did not intend for those missiles or drones to land. That's possible. But I still think it's all about fear. It is about striking fear in the hearts of Israelis. We saw this with Hamas. That was a tactic they were using as well. They want Israelis to exist, wondering what is going to happen next. Am I safe? Are my family members safe? If you wonder that all the time, it does degrade on your quality of life. So certainly, I think there were a number of aspects that Iran was engaging in when they sent those Shahed missiles or drones into Israel.
Yeah, Senator, to add to our continued reporting here and updates coming directly from Israel, the Israeli military has revised its earlier alert, saying there's no requirement in place right now anywhere in the country for residents to prepare to take shelter. If that changes, they will advise residents. Continued reaction pouring in, this one from your colleague in the Senate, Mike Braun. The U.S. must not abandon our ally Israel as they defend themselves from this vicious attack. Praying for the lives of innocent civilians in Israel tonight and the Jewish people all around the world. And to add to Jen Griffin's reporting, per two U.S. officials confirming Iran fired both ballistic and land attack cruise missiles at Israel in addition to the attack drones. This is the first confirmation, she says, that we have that ballistic and cruise missiles were fired at Israel by Iran. I can only imagine, and we can only imagine as we watch on, Senator, what the coming hours will look like.
Yes, Sandra, this is unprecedented for Iran not to utilize those proxies, but to strike directly against Israel and to engage with ballistic missiles. So the thoughts that I have heard coming from other colleagues, other people within the space, makes you wonder how close are they also to having those nuclear capabilities. So they want Israelis to exist in fear, wondering what that next step will be. But again, it is unprecedented what Iran has done, and we have got to assist the Israelis any way possible to push back against this threat. Now, we do see Saudi Arabia stepping up. We see Jordan stepping up. We want to thank those Arab nations that are friends to Israel, engaged through the Abraham Accords and other partnerships. This is part of the Defend Act, which passed bipartisan. I led that effort in the Senate many years ago. But to tie all of these nations together in an air defense mechanism so that they could protect against Iran. So we see the successes when America chooses to lead. And this is what we need at this moment, is American leadership that will step forward and support Israel.
You know, just thinking about what you said just a moment ago regarding Iran and its nuclear program, you know, this could have also been a sign to Israel that, hey, once we get a nuke, we can reach you without any problem.
Absolutely.
No matter how you put it, the genie's out of the bottle here, that there's been a direct attack by Iran on Israel. Israel has attacked Iran before, but Iran didn't attack Israel. Now that Iran has attacked Israel, do you think that Israel will sit on its hands and say, look, it wasn't so bad, a 10-year-old girl got slightly hurt, but there was nothing else? Or will they say, you can't do that, we're coming for you?
I think we have seen Israel step up. After October 7th, they said, no more, this will not happen again. So I do anticipate some strong reaction coming from Israel.
But what do you think Biden will tell them?
I can't speak for Biden. I would never want to speak for Biden. I can't get in his mind. Again, the failures of this president for so many years now to actually step forward and enable Israel to do the right thing in defending its own home territory. Joe Biden has failed at every opportunity. I have a bill right now in the United States Senate. There's a companion bill. It's bipartisan in the House as well, that would force this administration to enforce the Iranian sanctions. They need to do this. We need to cut off the revenues that are going to Iran. We need to choke them out so they can't keep perpetuating these types of actions against who they perceive as an enemy, which would be the United States and Israel.
Senator, when you head to work Monday morning, what does this look like? I mean, we know we heard from McConnell earlier today. We must pass the supplemental. I mean, what is that conversation going to look like in Congress as the U.S. stands by Israel?
Well, those conversations are going to continue, Sandra, and it's incredibly important that we get an update to the situation this weekend, but then we have to have further conversations about the funding of a supplemental package. Now, these friends and allies all around the world that we partner with, they are an extension of the United States and our own national defense. So we have to make sure that we're enabling our interests overseas. This also includes a discussion about FISA. We need to know when terrorists are talking overseas. We need to know how to respond to that. This is about national security, folks. And so we have got to engage as Congress and take this seriously.
So just as we finish here, you brought it up. We were talking about it earlier. Do you think that you'll get the FISA 702 renewal this coming week, and what do you think will happen?
I absolutely hope that we get this done, John. It is necessary. If we want to protect the United States of America, we absolutely have to be able to intercept communications, not American citizens, mind you. These are foreigners overseas plotting against the United States of America. We need to have the tools in the toolbox to make sure we're protecting our own interests. So I hope my colleagues listen.
Based on what we've heard from Chris Wray lately, maybe we need that. Senator?
Yeah, Senator Ernst, really appreciate you joining us tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.